So we got cut off. This is part 2 of putting things into your own words. So part 2 of quoting, summarizing, and paraphrasing. And we were just talking about how when you paraphrase, you have to change the words and the structure. Excuse me. And now we're going to look at how you can change the structure. So one thing we said you could do is you can switch the order. So you can move the beginning of the sentence to the end of the sentence. Here's an example. Dogs make the best pets could become the best pets are dogs. We've taken the word dogs, which is the subject of the sentence, and we've moved it to the end. So it's gone from the beginning to the end. You can also do this if you have 2 sentences. You can flip-flop the whole sentence so that the second sentence comes first. So you can change the structure by changing the structure inside a sentence, or you can change the structure by flip-flopping the order of sentences. Both will work. The other thing you can do is you can take a long sentence and you can break it into 2 sentences. Find a way to split it in half that makes sense. Or you can take 2 shorter sentences and combine them into 1 sentence. And here's an example where we've taken 2 shorter sentences and combined them into 1 sentence. So here's how a longer example might look. If this is my original, there are many different breeds of dogs, each with their own distinct personalities. For example, pit bulls are often thought of as being aggressive because they have a reputation for attacking people. So I have changed both the words and I have switched the order of the information. So I begin with dogs have different personalities. So that's the second half of this sentence. So I'm starting with the second half of this sentence. And it says different personalities, so I changed the word distinct to different, often depending on their breed. That was the first idea. So I've changed both the order and the ideas. And then I say, because pit bulls have been known to bite people, they have a reputation for being aggressive. So pit bulls, I'm talking about their personality. I'm saying that they're aggressive in the original. But in the second one, I talk about the idea that they bite people. So I switched the order and I changed some of the words. So example, so instead of saying for attacking people, I said known to bite people. So I used some synonyms. So do you see how we changed the order of each sentence? Each sentence, the order got changed inside the sentence and we changed some of the words. So in class, we did a couple activities where we played a paraphrasing telephone game, and we took those strategies that we just talked about. We used these strategies, and we practiced applying these strategies to paraphrase some examples. If you weren't in class, don't worry about that portion. So after we did this activity, we talked about how hard paraphrasing really can be. We talked about how people's tendency is to leave out important ideas. People, even though they know that they aren't summarizing, they tend to write a summary because it's easier to pull out the main idea than it is to try and recreate all of the original ideas. People thought it was pretty easy to find synonyms. They were pretty good at changing one word and replacing it with another. And that's some of the same things that we saw when we looked at what our peers had done. So if you have time, you need to go through your notes. Remember, on your note-taking grid, we color-coded 3 to 6 notes yellow and 3 to 6 notes blue. So any of the notes that you color-coded, you need to either paraphrase and summarize. Paraphrase or summarize. And you're just doing the notes we color-coded. If you didn't color-code those notes, don't take the time to paraphrase or summarize. You're probably going to want to summarize, but don't. Try to force yourself to paraphrase all those color-coded notes because that's going to be much more useful to you when you sit to write your paper. Okay, so try and do paraphrasing instead of summarizing. And that wraps up this lesson.